let's talk about it. This is a very intense, let's talk about it topic today. This fan base is divided on an extreme level over Daniel Jones. And some people are so tired of Daniel Jones talk that they don't even want to discuss it. But how can you not discuss the most important topic in Giant Nation? Last night we did a film review, okay? And look, I'm going to start off by saying this. I'm a Daniel Jones supporter, always have been. I think he's a great character, a good representative of the organization, and I feel bad for the guy. It didn't work out. The Giants definitely had failed him his first 4 years. Okay, you had 3 coaches, 3 offensive coordinators, 3 different systems, 0 O-line, mess. But yo, we're in year 6. And when I watched the film last night with the Big Blue Crew, right? And this is what I want to explain to guys. An NFL quarterback. Listen, I'm not an NFL quarterback at all, not even close. Played quarterback for years. You know, street football leagues. I mean, you know, schools. Listen, I understand the quarterback position extremely well. An NFL quarterback has to manipulate secondaries. The real good ones do that. Peyton Manning, all the great ones used to do it. Okay? Brett Favre used to get away with not doing that because he had a bazooka for an arm. Brady's outsmarted guys, okay, at the line of scrimmage with his play calling. Peyton Manning manipulated with his body. So what do I tell you? We're looking at a play last night where the tight end runs down the seam, about 20 yards down the field. Okay? Just about. Usually tight ends will line up about a yard to a yard and a half right outside the hash marks. You're down the bottom seam. You have a running back leak out, okay? And you got Slayton on the outside, right? Slayton's one-on-one. The safety is up top. He's about 20, 25 yards down the field. This safety can easily be manipulated, and this is what I think people didn't understand. By turning your body south and giving a quick little... You ever see these QBs? They don't fully pump. They'll do a half a pump where they bring their hand and stop the ball so it doesn't fall out or fumble. A lot of bullshit, tuck rule. You don't even want it to happen. You fake that pump to Slayton, or you turn your body real quick. You could even look up top. Snap, look up top, just to make that side stay there. Come back down low to Slayton, up the sideline deep. Fake pump it. That safety is moving south towards Slayton no matter what. Supposed to, right? Even if he takes 2 steps that way. That's good enough to open up the tight end. The linebacker's not going to stick with that tight end. He's a big guy, Bellinger, with big arms. And he could take a hit if one comes. And you rope that ball. And if you got the accuracy in the arm, you're hitting Bellinger 20 yards downfield in stride. He picks up another 5 or 10, maybe more if the safety misses. But that safety's 2 steps towards Slayton should open it enough. There was a 5 to 6 yard gap that you got to put that ball over the top and in. And I'm not talking about a rainbow. I'm talking about throw that fucking ball. Here's the issue. And if you don't want to go there, you bring it back down and you drop it down to the running back who leaked out wide open, and he's about 4 or 5 yards from you in open space. Those safeties are gone, both of them. Here's the problem with Daniel Jones. I'm going to tell you guys. And I think pretty much everyone understands the Giants are probably moving on next year, right? It's like almost 100%. He's probably not even going to start the rest of this year. Daniel Jones cannot anticipate throws into areas where the wide receivers will meet the ball. He wants the guy to be open and there already when he throws the ball. In the NFL, those windows close fast, so you can't do that. You have to throw a ball into an area and anticipate that the wide receiver will get into that little triangle area and get to the ball, or nobody gets to the ball. So it hits your receiver in stride, or it's an incompletion. If you wait an extra second in the NFL, that guy's no longer open or cannot get yak, or the ball gets intercepted or tipped. That's problem number one with Jones. We're in year 6 and he still can't do that. Whether the hits over the years have hurt him and beat him up, the only time I've seen Daniel Jones do that, lead receivers, was in year 1 under Shermer. Since then, Jones has been beat up bad. But we're in year 6 and that no longer happens. And that's why he lives for the dink and dunk ball. Little 5-yard crossing routes, or throw it to the running back, or he pulls it down and runs, or it's an RPO run, right? The only throw Daniel Jones makes downfield is the one-on-one deep against the sideline, which is the easiest throw in football, because you're throwing it deep and it's either your receiver up against the sideline or nobody. It's overthrown, right? That's the deep ball. It's a one-on-one throw. And years ago, he used to make that perfectly, but this year it's been a struggle. Whatever. They're not on the same page. You know, whatever. He's been overthrowing deep balls. The O-line's given time. The Cincinnati game was rough. Thomas was clearly hurt and it hampered the line somewhat. And Cincinnati's D, you got to credit them. They came to play. But if you're not manipulating secondaries, you're not going to get guys open in stride deep downfield. I'm talking about the seams. I'm talking about post routes. Bro, we run fucking 2 routes, a slant and a 5 and a cross. And the screen pass. This is simple high school football. And I've started to believe that Dable calls a lot of these plays because that's all Daniel Jones can do. Unfortunately, he's regressed. It's not that he's been shit for 6 years. He's regressed. Look, that's number 1. And number 2, and believe me, it hurts me to say this because I really wanted Daniel Jones to be the guy. Like I said, he works out, he works hard, he busts his ass, he doesn't leave the building all day and night. He's a leader, he knows how to handle the media. He's a very good representative of the organization. I know that's why Mara really wanted these guys to try to make him work. It hasn't worked, it's over. Reason number 2, the secondaries and the defenses in this league, and you saw it Sunday night at its fucking most glaring level, don't respect Daniel Jones. They're all creeping up to the line. They don't think he's going to throw over the top anywhere unless it's a one-on-one deep up the sideline. Everything else is a slant and a screen pass. A slant and a screen pass. And defenses are starting to press up on that slant. Now, here's another thing for the receivers and the weapons, right? We looked at a play where the tight end made a little curl, a 3-yard curl up the middle. He was left wide open. Daniel Jones has to throw that ball. Even though the route is to go deep and post, when you made that curl, you got to know this as NFL wide receivers. Yo, I knew this as a kid. Kids know this. So if you're not doing this in the NFL, then you're way behind. If the secondary is giving you 11 yards off the line of scrimmage and you don't take 2 or 3 steps and look back at your quarterback so he could drill the ball to you, and now you get hit in stride over the middle like pretty much a curl on the hash mark, you get hit after 2-3 yards in stride, you're running, now you can make a safety or linebacker miss, or he makes a good tackle but you still picked up 8 to 10 yards. If you don't know that, there's a major fucking problem with the Giants. Now, if the secondary's pressing you on the line of scrimmage, you got to run the route that was asked you to run and complete the route before you get the ball towards the end of the route. It could be a post. It could be a go route. It could be a 5 and post across the field. You got to run the whole route if the secondary's pressing you one-on-one. And it's Jones' job to find the open guy and lead him. Wherever it is, post to the outside, you got to throw the ball to the outside. Slant on the inside, you got to basically just 2-step and gun that slant and trust that the receiver will get to the ball, but you got to place it in front of him. But when the secondary backs up and gives you 12 yards, okay, you no longer can run your 15 or 14 or it's 20-yard route. You got to know after 2 to 3 steps that guy's 11 yards away from you I'm continue running my route, but I'm looking at you now so you could drill me early. Basically, forget the end of the route. It's no longer what's going to happen. You're getting hit early in stride to pick up 5, 7, 10. Maybe you break one for 20 yards, right? Especially the tight ends. And if you don't fucking know that, that's a major problem. Now, that's on the receivers. But Daniel Jones as a quarterback could come back to the huddle and say, listen, motherfucker, you grabbed the guy by the mask. When they play 10 yards off of you, I'm hitting you right off the line of scrimmage, 2, 3 steps into your stride. So you better be fucking looking at me. You don't have to drop back 5, 6 yards. Fuck the play action fake handoff. When you see a receiver where the corner's 12 yards off of him, you take the snap, you drop back 1.5 steps, and you drill him in stride. And if you can't do that as a pro quarterback, and you can't grab your receivers and fucking tell them what it is, like Aaron Rodgers does, like Brett Favre used to do, like Peyton Manning. If you didn't do that shit for Peyton Manning, your ass was grass. You're on the bench. Jones got to be our leader. He's got to speak up. He's got to groom these receivers. Quarterback is the extension of the head coach on the field. If you're not that, you're not an NFL quarterback. I know he's capable of it, but he doesn't do it. I know he doesn't like to yell. Sometimes you got to come out of your box and scream and yell and let motherfuckers know, yo, you better start seeing what I see. You better start doing what I said. It's a problem, man. We are in year 6. None of this stuff is happening. This kind of stuff got to happen by year 2. 3 the latest. These are the problems with Jones, man. I'm not an NFL quarterback. I didn't even quarter in college. But I quartered enough to see those things. And I was allowed enough mouth and an aggressive QB to fucking tell you, yo, when he's off of you, you look at me from the second you start your route. If he steps up during the fucking play, on the snap, hike, corner is 10 yards, he comes running up. You take a look at me, 2 steps off the line of scrimmage. I fake pump it to you. That corner tries to step up in front of it. You're gone deep. I go over the top to you. Guess what you got? A 50-yard touchdown. Dudes, manipulation by the quarterback's body and head turns and a little fake pump action, and it all doesn't have to be on the same plays. Changes everything, brother. Changes everything. If I line up 2 receivers on the right side and the outside receiver takes a step backwards in and I fake pump that line of scrimmage bullet and that corner steps up, the other receiver takes a 2-step slant out to the sideline and go route deep, you're going to have him wide the fuck open. Because the fake pump was enough to freeze both corners for a split second. And in the NFL, that's all you need for a guy to come wide open deep. And of course, the tight end can go up the seam and keep the safety occupied in the middle of the field. And if nothing else, the running back is going to leak out open. Brothers, the Giants are not really being creative. And the defenses in the league do not respect Daniel Jones because they know he's pretty much going to one guy the whole time. It's usually the first guy he looks at. Daniel Jones has some good things about him. I just think that the clock has ran out. And if it hasn't ran out, it's getting damn close to the end. There are quarterbacks in next year's draft, and I'm a believer that this Giants organization is 1,000% going after one of the top ones. Even if you got to trade a couple ones to go get them, I don't care. Because the roster is turning a corner. We have a top-level defense. We have a good O-line. You got a nice young running back, and you could add a power back in the middle rounds. We got some money to play with in free agency. It's time. And you got a superstar wide receiver. And Slayton ain't bad on the other side. And Robinson's a nice piece over the middle. Definitely in the slot. And I think Johnson will be a pretty good tight end, serviceable. Could always get another one if you want to. It's time for the quarterback. It's time to start fresh with a young mind in today's era of football. That's my breakdown of Jones. I'm not telling you I'm right. I don't think I'm wrong. Everybody has their opinion. But you got to start looking at Daniel Jones without the blue shades. Come out the box and see things. These may seem like small things. These small things are the difference of being a 5-win team and a 10-win team in the NFL. This was Talk About It, Miz.